And let's see. Today we will see about LoadRunner, more about LoadRunner, and we will even see some of the basic terminologies of LoadRunner. So I'll speak about LoadRunner once, like just a second, guys. Okay, like let's see the previous class session. So how LoadRunner works and everything I have already spoke and components of LoadRunner. So today we will see why LoadRunner. Why LoadRunner? Client should use prefer LoadRunner. Okay, so as I already told you in my previous class, Load Runner is the most widely used tool in the market, performance testing market, and it has many flexibility. Like yesterday, I have shown you, like it supports various protocols, variety of protocols. So first of all, it has a simple architecture, simple user interface, which can be understand by any person. It is a very simple user interface. Like it's very easy also. Like once you work on that, it's pretty clear. Like you can understand in a pretty single day. So what it does, it actually removes the intervention of manual performance testing of manual performance testing. Like beside LoadRunner, any other tools also do this kind of thing. They removes the intervention of manual effort. I'll even narrate one example. I'll even teach you in this class what is the difference between V user and real user. So basically, it removes the intervention of manual effort performance in performance testing. LoadRunner reduces the requirement of physical tester by replacing the virtual user. LR replaces the requirement of manual performance tester, manual PT, with the help of virtual users. on my today's class, I'll also discuss about virtual users. So as of now, like we'll not consider this the explanation. We have a separate session for this thing. So, like normally, if we think like how it replaces the real users with the virtual users, like normally we have load generator. That is a machine, LG machine, which generates the load. Because of that particular, it generates the virtual load and it replaces the whatever work it is performed by any virtual user can also be performed by real user. So similar perform we are just simulating the real users action into virtual users. So virtual users emulate the behavior of real users and create real world load on the server. B users create virtual load on the server. So LoadRunner also limits the number of hardware components, and there are no physical users generate multiple user load and reduce the requirement of hardware or physical machine. So normally, like load runner, like we limits the requirement of excess hardware. Like we once we install our particular load runner, then we get all the four components like which I had discussed on my previous class: Fusion, controller, analysis, and load generator, which are the internal components of this particular load runner. So beside this, we don't need any extra amount of excessive hardware. LR limits excessive hardware components. And even one of the component I mentioned, right? One LR component fusion roller analysis and LG machine load generator. As of now, as it reduces the manual effort with the as it reduces the manual effort, LG machines generates the virtual load for the application. And a single LG machine can generate multiple user load. User load. Like let's see, like while we are discussing now virtual, let me tell you first virtual users, then LG machines, everything I'll cover in a paint. Okay, we'll just Google. So let's see, like so let's see. This is the real user. Real user. And we'll just take an example of. So let's say this is virtual users or LG machine. Let's see, this is a LG machine. LG machine. Okay. So we have taken both the things. So let's see an example. There is an application. Uh, let's see. There is an application, ticket booking application. Let's say example, or let's say, um, yeah, this is an application. Let's see, this is IRCTC application. Normally, you have to perform, like, say, suppose your client is IRCTC and he wants to perform performance testing for this particular thing. So just think about the effort it will take for real users, like one real user, two real user, three real user, four real user, five real user. Suppose you think these are five real users, so you have a requirement of 5 or 10 or 20. So you'll just get all your colleagues and try to do a performance testing. But think about a scenario where it has a requirement to test for 1,000 real users. 1,000 users, user load. So at that particular time, it will be very difficult, and we cannot proceed with real users, as it will be a very expensive process or testing to bring all the real users and perform this kind of IRCTC performance testing. Will definitely, like, there is much needed of, and it will also require many manual effort due to this, like, and it will be very difficult to collate all the results. So first thing is, it requires a lot of manual effort. Second, it is a very expensive process. Third, very difficult to collate the results, the test results. We don't we don't prefer any tool, rather directly interacting to the UI. It will take lot of, it will consume lot of hours to complete the test. We cannot get any accurate test results. So, like, these are the factors, because of this thing we are not able to, like, we don't want to proceed with real user, like, we won't test with real user. We prefer going for a tool which are available in the market, like whether it is a JMeter or LoadRunner or NeoLoad, any kind of tool. Suppose your client wants to spend and have a trust on LoadRunner, then he'll particularly provide the licensing tool, as it has a very vast flexibility. And suppose some of the clients, they don't want to invest much on tools, so they will directly prefer a open source tool which is JMeter. In the JMeter, it will based on agent injector, like, agent will inject all the load, and load generator, it has a components of LG machine. Like, internally when you install the load runner, directly the load generator machine will also get installed in your machine, which will when you want to put some load on the application, that particular LG machine will generate some load. We'll even see that. So it will be very difficult, like suppose if there is a requirement of less users, people can go and do some of the efforts, or some they can get to some point also. But when there is a requirement of 1,000, 10,000, 5,000 user load, it will be very difficult to get all the resource, because each and every real users will charge a high amount, and it is a very difficult and tedious process to go for this real user activity. So definitely at that particular time, this tool come into picture. Like these tools come into picture. Normally, this LG machine, they generate n number of virtual loads. So they generate n number of virtual load. User 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Depending on the LG configuration, LG machine can generate. So here LG machine can generate a virtual load, and depending on the configuration, LG machine generates the user load. Like configuration means some hardware specs, like it depends on your RAM, availability of the RAM, and while generating the vUser load, it depends on the protocol as well. I'll explain about the protocol on a very vast manner, so that you can get to understand about protocol as well. So depending on the protocol, some of the protocols will require some minimal like memory footprints. So memory footprints is nothing but the consumption of memory for one particular V user, and depend based on that, our virtual number of V users depends. Like suppose LG machine 1 can generate 500 virtual user load, LG machine 2 can generate, depending on the configuration, it can generate more than 1,000 users, or 2,000 users. So it's basically depend on the configuration. And it also reduces the effort of manual performance testing. We get accurate test results and easy to collate the test results as well. We have we don't need any separate tool for this. Our same LoadRunner as a component name, sorry guys, the same load runner has a component name, load generator, and when you install load runner directly internally, load generator will also be installed on your machine. So depending on the size and everything, we our edge machine depend like generates the number of users. And now I think like you have got a basic idea about real users and virtual users. So suppose there is an application, IRCTC application, and you want to perform the same exact scenario with 1000 or 2000 or 5000 user load, then it will be a very easy task for you, because you don't have to bring all the real users into action. Your tool can simulate the same particular user load, and it will perform the same activity. Like if a real user can log into the application, the virtual user can also perform the same activity. You have to do via record and replay. Like whenever I'll just tell you one thing. Let's see, this is your client machine, this is your server machine. Client machine, this is your server machine. Okay, so let's see let's see, this is the machine. Client is sending the request. Just a second guys. Client is sending the request, and in middle, load runner will act as an interface. So this is response. Client is providing the response. So server is providing the response, and client is providing the request. So normally, what it happens is the load runner or Vusion machine. It internally capture all the records, all the before sending to the server. When client sent a request, it gets recorded, and when server sent the response before sending it to the client, it records, because it acts as an interface, and it captures all the request and response what is traversed or sent to the server, and server sent the response to it. So all of the things it captured here, and when you stop recording, it's it generate when you stop the recording, generates the test script. So all the events get captured, and that all things only we have to uh, um, like we will work on that script and enhance that particular script. And once we capture all the dynamic values and correlate it, we will then the same script will by using that same script we can put n number of user load, and same n number of virtual user load will act as a real user, like it normally simulates the real user activity. Whatever activity we have performed, similar things and the events got recorded, and the virtual user also will perform the same activity. So once we stop the recording, our script get enhanced, or we get a script. And for this script you have to enhance all the things. Suppose this is the script. So this is the process it normally gives. And when we wanted to perform for a IRCTC application, definitely with the help of LG machine generates n number of virtual load, and because of that, it's bring you a possibility to test with n number of user load, like 1,000 user load or 2,000 user load or 3,000, depending on the client requirement, how much user load he wants to test the application under load. So I think you guys have a good idea about this thing. So now we will discuss about more things about why client should prefer LoadRunner. And here we can easily correlate. Here we have direct function to correlate the dynamic values functions like average param. I'll discuss every function, each and every function, so that you don't face any doubt. Next we have average say param underscore x, and next one more function average say param underscore rejects, and many more function. I'll discuss when we proceed with further class. We have a separate class for this particular functions, to look all the functions and all. So now we have many more things to discuss. Okay, so we have easily correlation methods which can handle all the dynamic values which are captured during the recording. So we can easily do by using that particular functions which I have already mentioned in my previous slide. And the flexibility of the controller helps to create the user load test of any pattern. Like with the help of controller, we can design user load of any pattern. As discussed on my previous class, with the help of controller. Sorry, I don't have this machine. So with the help of controller, we can design user load of any pattern, any particular pattern. You can simulate the load test, stress test, spike test, breakpoint test, any kind step down test, any type of test you want to perform under any specific user load. You can design the scenario with the help of controller. So we can monitor the graphs, live graphs, while executing the test. We can monitor in the live, like it has a very it gives a high flexibility of graphs. Like example, client matrices, matrix, user graph. User graph, it tells like on what how the view users are on what state, like ramp up or steady state or ramp down, or how many users got exited, or how many users are actively on the application. Everything it tells view user graph. Everything we'll see once we do a load test, and then we can lively monitor the application. And even we have TTS graph and response time graph, everything, error per second graph. So these all things we and while executing also we can find out, we can verify all those graphs, and we can see how our test is performing, like whether we are observing any kind of lag or any kind of high response time, or any kind of any fatalities in the application, like any abnormal behavior we are watching, then definitely we can see and detect that in the particular graphs as well. So LoadRunner also supports the network graph if there is any issue with the bandwidth or some kind of thing. So we can monitor. LR also supports to monitor the network and server resources to identify the bottlenecks. So definitely, like once it also supports to monitor the network and server resources to identify all the bottlenecks, and it also supports for mobile as well as mobile performance testing, cloud performance testing. So we have a flexibility to work on any platform, wide range, wide range of support to perform performance. um, like mobile performance testing, client performance, client cloud So as we know, like it also support for mobile performance testing and cloud performance testing, and we can even easily integrate with any of the APM tools. LR can easily integrate with any APM tool. APM tools are nothing but Dynatrace. One more thing is App Dynamics and many more like Splunk. We can easily integrate the LR with any APM tools. And these are the few examples which I have mentioned here: Dynatrace, App Dynamics, Splunk, and in the analysis file it provides the wide range of graphs. So with the help of that particular graph we could analyze the issue related, and when we want to deep dive more, then we can particularly use our app dynamics for finding out the performance bottlenecks. So analysis also supports to correlate multiple graphs, or like it has a different types of correlate, overlay, tile. Like we can, when we can merge different graphs and we can plot, we can see the we can compare both of the graphs and see where to find out the exact root cause of the performance bottlenecks. So it also provide a high range of graphs. So with that particular range of graphs, we it's very easy to determine any particular issues. And this is 100% automation of the test case. Whenever we require, we can automate any kind of test case we have done, or we have recorded any script, we can automate it easily. And even if we face any kind of issue in our micro focus load runner, or suppose while performing any kind of test, there is issue observed due to load runner, then definitely we get a wide range of support. So customer support, we can raise a micro focus ticket, and they will be quickly they will be resolving our issue with on that particular ticket. So definitely, this tool has wide range of support as well, customer support. And coming to, like, it provides very accurate test results, and all the resources are easily available. Support all protocols and all technologies, almost all technologies which are widely used in the uh, today's testing world, uh, and it has a very quick and a strong community support, and even it is very secure, and there is no involvement of any third party. So I hope, like, we get a very wide range of like features available in our load runner. That's the reason many of the customers are still, like, they, even if there are many open source tool, uh, this particular tool overweights other tools as it provides a high range of features. Definitely, like, and it has a very easy user interface. So because of that, because, because of that, we particularly use that particular. So, so we have. I think, like, you have understood why most of the clients still use LoadRunner they give as a preference for testing any kind of for performance testing of their on their application, because it supports many wide range of protocols and all. and due to that it also provide us a very accurate test result. Even in analysis you can generate the HTML test report, where various type of test reports we can prepare it. So because of that particular features, and these all are easily available, like by installing only one particular load runner, we get all the all the components are installed simultaneously. We can even install the stand and alone product like MuseNet or low controller. If we don't want all the particular components to get installed at a time, we can even use that particular features as well. So definitely, like because of this thing, this overweights other tools, and now many other tools also available. We'll see like what's the difference and all. And now I'll just get started with our next topic, which is, I told right I'll be discussing few of the before starting the tools. Let's have some basic understanding about the terminologies. Uh, so that while scripting you will have a better clarity. Just a second, guys. Uh, let me just So, for a basic, like whenever you are starting load runner, or you want to perform any kind of performance testing, or start building any kind of scripting activity, definitely for a beginner, they should have a basic understanding of all the required things. Because once we deep dive, then it will be very helpful for them to understand and have a very better clarity on that particular tool. So before starting, we'll see some of I'll describe each and everything. uh, Basic understanding of the tool. So we will describe first, like let's take from starting itself. Whenever we are before starting any kind of test, we undergo like PTLC. That even I will have a separate session for PTLC as well. Like all the required performance testing life cycle, what all things it comes, right. I'll make you understand like it is PTLC life cycle process as well. So, but now we want to see like what is SLA. SLA. SLA is nothing but service level agreement. Like before starting a project, our client provides a SLA for every transaction. That each and every critical business transaction, it should the transaction should be under the SLA, given SLA. Suppose let's take while purchasing the ticket in IRCTC application, the purchase feature is a critical business flow for the application, because lot of customers, they do transaction, live transaction, and it directly increase the revenue of the company. Like we are depending on the purchase and everything, and the company's revenues depend. So never a customer, always a customer will have a SLA, and because he wants to test that particular features, it should not have any kind of issue. Because once there is any kind of issue, If any customer observe that particular issue and faces any challenges at that particular time, definitely he'll be switching to different particular switching to any other application. Let's say we have flight booking application like Make My Trip, Go I Go, and Happy Easy Go, anything. If we observe any kind of issue or faces any kind of challenges in that in Goa Vivo, then definitely as a customer, I'll never use that particular application. And if there is while doing any kind of transaction, I observe the error page. As a customer, I don't understand that particular issue. My only worriness is about the money. How much money I have while purchasing the ticket. I spent this much amount of money, and it has been deducted. Now I have to go with the tedious process, go and communicate with the customer support, and then my amount will be refunded to the bank account. So definitely, as a business owner, I'll never want my critical business flows should be performing bad or poorly. So that is what SLA means, like service level agreement. It's a mutual agreement between the client and the tester on the performance metrics. So metrics can be load or TPS or anything. So next, as we already spoke about this thing, we'll even see performance metrics. SLA service level agreement, mutual agreement between client and the tester. So coming to this, and agreement for key performance metrics like user load, next TPS, average response time, SLA 90% response time, response time. I'll even discuss this particular. Don't worry about this as of now. So now we'll discuss about performance matrices. First, I will speak. Then I'll give you a note.